And it's Car Con Carne, still in quarantine. This is officially the 58th show I've done from home, not in the car. Episode 371, if you're keeping track. Quarantine Con Carne. I'm James Van Alstel, and tonight's show is sponsored by Siren Records McHenry, who are now offering curbside pickup and online ordering. You can check out their new website at sirenrecordsmchenry.com. If you're in a band, if you own a label, if you want to get a product in a store, a real brick and mortar store, you can message them on social media or just call Siren Records McHenry. They're always looking to support local music, as am I. Car Con Carne also tonight sponsored by C&H Financial Services. Check out their website, freeprocessingnow.com. Joining me on Zoom/Facebook Live, I have, let me get this going here, Adam Krier. Adam Krier of AM Taxi, Adam Krier of Lucky Boys Confusion, Adam Krier, who's played with lots of other bands too. Hi, Adam.
Hey, James. Thanks for having me. This
was kind of a last minute thing. I reached out to you because I just saw you posted a new a new video of a song that's been around for about a year or so, an AM Taxi song called El Patron. I thought, well, this is a good excuse to catch up with my old pal, Adam Krier. The video was, we're seeing a lot of this now from musicians. This was recorded from isolation and quarantine. So why don't you tell me about the new video?
Well, yeah, we were trying to figure out how to do this. I'm not very savvy with any of the computer stuff. I did the whole thing on my iPhone. Basically, I just sang the song. I had a little clip track going in my ear and sent it around to the guys, and they played along to the audio that I sent them, and they kind of mixed all the video together and walked around the neighborhood and took a little footage, spliced it in there.
And why that song? Did that speak to you in the current situation we're in?
It's funny. I don't know if you've noticed this, but like a lot of songs I've been listening to, it's just coincidental that a lot of things, like are lining up with this. But that has something to do with it. Plus, it works well acoustically, which is all we got right now.
There's so many great lyrics on Shiver by Me, that album over there that I have on display. This song, great lyrics too. The line, "In the end, we're only worth what we leave behind." That's heady stuff, Adam Krier.
Thank you. There's a little bit of a Beach Boys influence on that song. It's kind of a Brian Wilson tribute, Joe Strummer tribute, and I don't know. It works well acoustic. I was surprised when I heard them all send their parts in that. It was no longer like a reggae. It was more of a folk song almost. Like,
and of course, dedicated to famed Chicago taqueria El Patron.
It's a good spot.
It is a good spot. So, one of the things I should mention, if you're watching live on Facebook right now in the moment, it's like 8:40 at night. I'll be jumping on 101 WKQX at 10 p.m. tonight. They're doing a radiothon, like a 34-hour radiothon, along with Civil, the Chicago Independent Venue League. I had them on a little bit ago in Car Con Carne, trying to save our stages, 34 different venues in Chicago. That is specific to the venues, keeping the lights on. Of course, the next level is the artists who have nowhere to play. How are you, as a member of AM Taxi, the guy of AM Taxi, as a member of Lucky Boys Confusion, how are you holding up? How is your optimism? How is your mood overall?
I mean, fairly optimistic. There's just we don't have a lot of answers right now. You know what I mean? I think I'm going to get a little bit more antsy in the weeks and months to come. For now, not too bad. I miss the guys though. I really miss playing music with those people.
Who put together the video, by the way, for El Patron? Like, you all did your clips. Who edited it?
I just did it on my phone. Oh,
you did it on your phone?
Yeah.
And you say you're not a technologically inclined person.
I didn't really know what I was doing, but there's a few programs out there that I've kind of managed to mess with and use incorrectly to do what I want them to do. You know what I mean?
John just checked in on the Facebook Live, and he just said AM Taxi. True story. AM Taxi. That's Adam Krier. You are beloved in this town. So I guess the next question, after working on the El Patron video, the quarantine-based, how do you describe it? The shiver in place as opposed to Shiver by Me.
There you go.
I enjoyed that. So that's a little spark of creativity. And one of the questions I've been asking across the board of every artist I've had on over the past 58 episodes, is this a time, are you finding it? Are you finding creativity, or are you just kind of getting through? Do you have sparks? Are you writing? Are you picking up the guitar and creating music?
Yeah, I've been writing a lot of music. I've been listening to a lot of music, which I think is helpful with becoming creative. There's a Tom Waits quote somewhere. It says, like, everybody has this kind of little songwriter in their head, and when you're listening to music, you're feeding it. You know what I mean? So the more you listen, the more it's kind of becoming creative. And then at some point, it's like, okay, time to write a song. So I've been, listening every night and doing a little bit of writing every night. I feel like if I'm in that zone, that writing mode, if I manage to stick with it, I'll get something good after a few days, probably.
David William Fuller just said, love you, Adam. I listened to the album, that one right there, Shiver by Me, at least once a month. I do too. Those are pretty timeless songs that you wrote on that one. The band wrote, that you put together.
Thank you.
It's crazy how times change. I think it was just a year and a half ago you did the release show for that.
Yeah. Well, not even. When was it?
It's probably early 2019, right?
It was, yeah. Well, we think it was February. Yeah. It's crazy.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with your various bands. Anything new with Taxi or LBC?
Yeah. Well, I texted some of the people from LBC, Lucky Boys Confusion, about if I was supposed to announce this or not. So I didn't get an answer yet. So I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything or not, but we have something coming out that people have been asking for a while, in a digital form. That'll be real soon.
I think that says a lot.
Oops.
I think Stubby's still sitting on some re-release vinyl that I got to grab from him at some point.
Hopefully I didn't let the cat out of the bag too much, but
I think you might have, but that's okay. I'm moving forward so that you don't have to be left holding that.
It's okay. They don't care.
By the way, Stubby's moving out by me soon. So if you go to visit him, we got to go to Pita Inn or something and have lunch.
Okay.
You'll love it. We'll get some shawarma.
Yeah. I'll be out there.
And some hummus, some baba ganoush.
Sounds great.
We'll go for a walk. It'll be lovely. Just saying. All right. Here's an interesting thought I had before we did this. I reached out to you, and you said you were willing to do this interview tonight, but you're almost hesitant. Like, I don't know if I have much to talk about. I've always wondered, do you like doing interviews?
I do. Well, I mean, I haven't done any interviews in a while. So I'm kind of out of the interview mode. We used to do them like 3 or 4 times a day, especially in tours like Warped, where, there's press tents. And when that happens, you really get into sort of the routine of it.
And everyone asks the same questions, right? When you're in that routine?
Not James Van Osdol.
Right.
That's a JVO. I'm disappointed, though, we're not eating any food this time around.
I know. Well, that's life under COVID-19. That's the world we're living in right now. I cannot wait to jump back in the car and eat food with strangers and friends.
Well, when you asked me, I was kind of hoping I could stall a little bit until, restaurants are opening so I could get a meal out of this.
Well, that's a working musician. That's the way a musician thinks. But no, when things are back to normal, we could do another thing with LBC. We could do something with Taxi. I'm full on board with both those ideas.
Great. Excellent. There's a new Ike Reilly record that we're finishing up right now. Luckily, most of the production was done before, all the lockdown and all that. So it's kind of in the mixing stages with this guy, Mario McNulty.
Okay.
He did a bunch of like David Bowie records and things like that. So I'm excited to hear what this is.
Oh my God. Ike Reilly, if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, whatever production value you see here, which is marginal, the Ike Reilly family jubilee or whatever he's calling it that he does bi-weekly on Facebook is the most wondrous, fantastic thing I've seen from an artist during this pandemic. He and his family in the living room, they play together. It's like Johnny and June Carter Cash and the Carter family all getting together and playing Ike's hard scrabble songs about life and living and betrayal. It is glorious.
We're getting little moments of his parental skills and, seeing a little bit behind the curtain,
And the production value. I texted him after the one a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, I don't know how you did it, but the sound is better than anything I've seen on any kind of Zoom or artist stream to date. Like, he's just figured everything out.
One microphone.
What's that?
One microphone.
But he's running it through something. He like digital mixer or
like
something.
Some verb going on, but yeah, it's I think it's an old, show business trick. You got to have everybody at the right distance from that one mic to really make it sound the way it's supposed to.
Ike's a genius. Maybe I don't always ask the same questions, but I'm going to ask you one I don't think I've ever asked you, and it's a story that is old as the beginning of the band, but I've never heard you tell it. Tell me how you came to be AM Taxi, because that was not how you started. I've never heard you tell the story.
We never talked about this before?
Never.
Well,
I think at the time when Taxi was rolling out, so to speak, I was in this weird influx situation in radio. I think I was in the process of losing my job. Q101 fired me. Great move. Thanks, guys. And we didn't really intersect that much back then.
I think, so basically this was like 2006 when, believe it or not, is when Lucky Boy stopped touring. And still continued to play, but we were on the road a lot, for a few years, 5 or 6 years, and that kind of was straining on a few people. So the decision was made to continue as a group, but not as a touring act. And touring at that point in my life was my favorite part of it. When you're younger, it's just really exciting to be out on the road, play in different places every night. So I was anxious to kind of get something else going. And believe it or not, our friend out in Long Beach, Miguel Happel from the Sublime family, Skunk Records, I'd worked with him back in 2002, and he said, look, I need you to come out with drummer, get started on a new record with me. I said, well, I got this drummer, but we haven't really jammed much. He's like, okay, here's a rehearsal space in Chicago. It's been paid for. Just play every day, even work on your own songs, just get tight as a team. And then, so we did that for a month, and we flew out to Long Beach, did his project, and came back. But all that time we've been writing songs. I've been showing him, Chris, these tunes I've been working on. Anyway, Jason lived down the street from that rehearsal space. So eventually he started, after work, he would stop by, and we put out a record in the summer of 2007 before we even did any gigs. And some of your buddies at Q101 started playing it. So we put the rest of the band together. We got John and Luke Schmidt to join us. And we started playing.
At the time, I mean, the question I was kind of going for, you were American Taxi.
Oh, you didn't want that whole story. I get it.
No, I want the whole story, but I want to make sure that we're on track for this question.
Yeah, American Taxi. I think the name change happened sometime around, it must have been after we got signed, because nobody really cared about the similarity between our name and some other bands and companies' names were until, a big record label comes along, then everyone gets nervous.
Yeah.
So we switched it. Yeah. And the logo at the time already had capital A, capital M, American Taxi. It was just an easy fix that we could keep some of the name without confusing too many people.
So something like that happens. You get a call. You just throw your arms up in the air like, seriously, is this really happening?
It's frustrating, but there's a lot of worse things that happen in the music business, I guess.
True. Every day. While you're in quarantine, I love the Zen Arcade, the Husker Du t-shirt you're wearing. That is actually, we're both like 80s old school at this point. I've got the Ray Gun shirt. You've got the Husker Du shirt.
Oh, yeah. Very good. Very good.
What should people listen to while they're stuck in quarantine, while they're, because we've all we're done. We've all finished Netflix. We're done. I'm almost done with HBO now. I'll be finished with Hulu shortly. What music do you recommend?
I've been listening to, everything. I listen to probably a different record every evening. Well, like Hendrix, The Clash, listened to the first Go-Go's record the other day. Liz Phair. I really dove into Sandinista, that triple record by The Clash, which, I always listened to it over the years and I always loved it, but there's so many layers on it. And just you hear something new every time you play it.
See, I haven't listened to Sandinista for a long time. For me, that album was always hit or miss. It was a song by song thing. I had a hard time accepting the full 3 records as one.
It's a lot to swallow, you know, in one sitting.
It bounces around a lot. All right. So looking ahead, I should also ask, who's your favorite AM Taxi member?
Can't have favorites, James.
All right. Fair enough. So looking ahead, a new Reilly album, which is very exciting. One of Chicago's great songwriters of the past 30 years, without question. LBC has something in the works, which we'll hear about soon. AM Taxi just put out the quarantine video for El Patron. And there you have it, right? Yeah,
that's about it. Just trying to, you know, look out for skunks. A lot of wildlife is kind of a little bit out of control these days.
They're trying to reclaim their turf.
I think so.
My neighborhood gets skunky at night.
I don't know if this is like redundant or benevolent topic for your podcasts, but it's definitely happening, and they're not afraid. You know what I mean? Skunks, and I've got coyote problems in my neighborhood, and you know they're. I've been trying to communicate with them, but we'll see what happens.
Like Snow White?
Not exactly. We're trying to sound on where they're coming from. Yeah, kind of like Snow White. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a Disney princess to me, Adam Krier.
Thanks.
All right, dude. You know I love talking to you. Thank you for jumping on it. This was a totally last minute thing. I appreciate seeing your face and hearing your voice.
Anytime. Thanks for giving me the call.